Okay, good afternoon, geometry. I know y'all thought I forgot about you, but no, I didn't. Just trying to figure out how to do this YouTube thing. So, your assignment today is on USA Test Prep. It is VLA, Virtual Learning Assessment Assignment, number 1. And it's on factoring. Some of you already know how to factor, some of you do not, so I'm just going to go over a few problems so that you know what to do and you can get a good grade on your homework. So, factoring a trinomial with a leading coefficient of 1. All right, this is the easy kind. This is the one that's like AM, like in the morning, AM. You want to add to the middle and multiply to the last. Okay, so I need to find the two numbers that add to 7 but multiply to 6. And I will put those two numbers in parentheses with an x because x is my variable. The numbers that multiply to 6 and add to 7 are 6 and 1. A positive 6 and a positive 1. 6 times 1 is 6 and 6 plus 1 is 7. So this is it. That is how we factor. These are the only two numbers that will do both of these things. You could, of course, have it the other way. You could have an x plus 1 first and then an x plus 6 second, but they both need to be positive and only the numbers 1 and 6 will work. Are we clear? Because multiplication is commutative, so it doesn't matter which way I order. 6 times 1 or 1 times 6, they both equal 6. All right, number 2. Same situation. I want to add to the middle and multiply to the last. AM. So the numbers that multiply to 50. You can think of all the factors of 50. You have 1 times 50. That's not going to give me 15. 2 times 25. 2 and 25 is not going to make a 15. 3 doesn't work. 4 doesn't. No, 4 doesn't work. That's 12.5. 5 and 10. 5 and 10 are your numbers, all right? So a 5 and a 10, if they want to add up to a negative 15 and multiply to a positive, if it multiplies to a positive, your signs need to be the same. So either I would have a positive 5 and a positive 10 that would multiply to positive 50, or you could have a double negative. I could have a negative 5 and a negative 10. Okay, those will both multiply to positive 50, but if I added them up, a negative 5 plus a negative 10 will give me a negative 15. All right, I usually like to write the larger number first, but again, it does not matter. This is your solution. Well, that's actually not. Do I need to start this video over? No, because nobody wants to do that. Either way is fine. All right, number 3. Again, I'm doing my add multiply thing. I want the numbers that multiply to negative 15 but add to 2. All right. I have my x and my x. One of the tricks is your larger number is going to be the same as your middle sign. Okay, so I know that between my two numbers, the bigger one is going to be positive. All right. The numbers are 5 and 3. If I multiply 5 times negative 3, 5 times negative 3 will give me negative 15. But 5 plus negative 3 plus a negative is actually subtraction, and that'll give me the 2. So that's that one. And again, you could write it in a different order. You just have to make sure that you keep the same signs. Like my 3 would still have to be negative, and my 5 would still have to be positive. All right, either way is fine. And then lastly, we have this x squared plus 20. I don't have a middle number, but I could think of the middle number. If there's nothing, it can always be a 0. So I can think of it as I have 0 x's and then a plus 20. So I would need the numbers that add to 0 and multiply to 20. Okay? We have 1 and 20. 2 times 10. Not going to give me 0. 4 times 5, that's close, but that's not going to give me 0. The only way I'll get a 0 is if I have the same exact number, right? Like one has to be positive and one has to be negative in order for me to add it up and get a 0. This is not factorable. It is not factorable. There is no factored solution to this. All right, and that is the end of the first set.